Alright, welcome back to the channel, and we got a new build going on. You guys remember the giveaway that we had a little while back? Anyways, the guy that won it wanted us to build it out a little bit, so this is what we got. 3800 supercharged. I can't remember the transmission. I think it's out of a Jeep. Behemoth Dana 300, 14 bolt in the rear, Kingpin 60 in the front. Anyways, we're gonna get this all get the motor tranny mounted, get it all linked up, shocks done for him, and anyways, see what else he wants to go from there. But what I'm working on right now is some motor mount plates. So what we're using are these three bolts on that side, and then on the passenger side we're using these 3 bolts as well. So I got ahead, didn't realize it, but I got them drawn up on the computer, and that's what I came up with right there. Took me a couple tries on this driver's side one, just getting the whole location right, but got it cut out, got them cleaned up. That's what I designed. So I'm gonna try and find some hardware and get these mounted up. Alright guys, so I'm working on the motor mounts, and I got these tabs. Yeah, these shorter tabs will go on the driver's side, or no, excuse me, passenger side. And these tabs are just, I think, 3/8 longer, just so they can clear the head of that bolt right there. But they're gonna sit just like that. And then we get these bushing kits, and there's a little gap, and so we're trying, if we ran this style, it would be nearly, or it would be impossible to get bolt in and out of those two. So what we did, I just shaved up that inner tube, that metal tube, sleeve, whatever you want to call it, just trimmed it up that 1/2 inch, whatever it is. So we got that. So now I'll get this all jigged up with a bolt through it, and get it tacked up and get it on the car.
So Matt's just getting my
mess up fixed.
a mess up fix. He had a hole that was a little small, so he's just drilling it out. But man, you guys, this car is gonna be something else. 3800 supercharged, and as you can see, it's super narrow and not very tall either. So this is actually a motor I've really been leaning on for my next car. It's mated with an automatic transmission right to the Behemoth Dana 300, and I tell you what, that case is beautiful, you guys. There's a couple other companies out there that's tried to make them. They've been unsuccessful with keeping the company alive, and I think this one is gonna be around for a while. So he's gonna be running a 14 bolt, non-rear steer, and of course this is our new hatch Lizard chassis. So Matt's going hard right now trying to get this transmission mounted and the motor plates on the motor. As soon as he gets those on there, we'll be able to take some measurements and cut out some tubes to get the motor mounted to the chassis. In the meantime, I'm cutting a chassis, so I will be back and forth with the camera watching this young buck handle that budget build crawler.
Alrighty guys, so I got the motor mounts on. Here, I'll show you guys. So I got motor mounts on, tabs are all welded on. I made a whoopsie on this one and welded the tabs on the wrong side, so I had to drill a hole. That's what you guys seen when Thomas was showing you guys. But I had a buddy of mine from my last job make these little mock-up bushing kits. So, well, it's aluminum, I should say. So I'm gonna get these and get those bolted up so we can pull some measurements and get a tab. I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a piece of tube from there and then get the motor, get the motor where we love it, get that the tube on both sides, and then we'll I need to come up with something for the tranny mount. We got the cross member in, but I need to design something to mount to the cross member. Anyways, once we get that done, we'll be able to pull these little janky engine stands off, get it all blocked up on some wood, and make some measurements. And we're gonna make a skid plate come from right here all the way, probably to about right here, just under the front of the motor, and then back, and then we're gonna tie it down just like we did on the Sin City chassis. If you guys remember on that one, we had it mounted up top and then down from the bottom as well, just to kind of tie everything in. But yeah, so I'm gonna get going on that, and yeah. Alright you guys, so we normally build all this setup on our fab table, but we're in the process of making a new one, and for some reason we're gonna do it on the ground. So what we wanted was the motor to sit a little bit more driver on this car, just so we can make sure we have the drive shaft clearance on the passenger side, because it's a Chevy Kingpin 60. Anyway, so what I did, we marked center, and then down at the end of my ruler here, square, I just measured up to the center of the bell housing bolt, or not bell housing, oh my gosh, the balancer bolt and the crank bolt right there. And then same with on the back side, I just took my square up to there, measured it up to the center of the yoke, and we're about 5/8 front and back off centered. So that's where we want it. Now the hardest thing is to not bump the chassis while it's on the ground, because it moves really easily. Normally we'll put little staples kind of thing, staple clamps over the tube on each side, and weld it down. But because it's concrete, we don't have that luxury on this build. So yeah, you just gotta be very cautious. But now I can get my measurements and get that drawn up for the tubes, the motor mount tubes coming down to catch up. Alright, so I just barely measured, and the driver is going to be 6 1/4 on center, so that's center tube to center tube, and then passenger 8 1/2. So I'm not sure if we're going to put this in the computer or if we're just going to cut it and do it by hand. It'd be easier if we did it on the computer, but Thomas is currently cutting out a junior lizard for a customer. So yeah, we're gonna figure that out and go from there. All right, you guys, so we got this piece drawn in, but I guess my measurements when I put them in the computer were a little off because it was long. So I just had to go the old-fashioned way, I guess, what you want to call it, and grind it, notch it by hand. Basically, I just shortened it up, but I got it to fit really nice in there, and it's a good rough start at least. So doing it on the Dragon, if it's not perfect, it's at least close. So now I get to do the same exact thing on the other side, and yeah, stay tuned, I guess. All right, you guys, so I got measurements in the computer and I got it cut out. I messed up on my original measurement and cut this one, but it was a little too short. I didn't add the inch when I measured my distance from bushing over, but that's okay. I cut a new piece out and it fits in there pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. It's all fillable and nobody will ever know, besides you guys. Anyways, now I got the engine itself tacked up. I'm going to throw a ratchet strap over the yoke of the T-case. We're gonna run it up and around that roof bar back to itself, just to get a little bit of pressure off, or just to float it a little bit. And I mainly need to get enough space so I can figure out what the bolt pattern is on the bottom of this transmission. Yeah, so once I figure out the distance there, then I can come up with something to mount, to make an actual legit mount to that cross member. And as you guys can tell, the cross member is a little angled. So that is because the T-case sits so low on this side, and everything is just so far forward that if we move this forward more, it would be, yeah, here you go. If we move this more forward, it would be directly in line to the bolts, because the bolts are centered of that flange right there. Yeah, so that's why we had to scoot it back, and it's a little weird. It looks goofy, but it's going to work just fine. I'm gonna make a little tab that makes it sit up and fill it in, and another one of those things. It'll work just fine. So let's get this all jigged up so I can get some measurements. Alrighty, so I know Thomas has shown you guys a whole bunch of times, but I'm gonna let you guys watch.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. I see the world through eyes covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities.
Alrighty, so now I got the skid set in there, and I even scooted it over just a little bit because the motor is a little bit more driver, but I still wanted to make sure that there is enough room for the drain plug to come out, which there should be. Anyways, so now I'm gonna work on some motor mounts to tie into the skid to just make sure it stays solid, and just extra protection. Well, whatever. Anyways, so on this side, I think I'm gonna do something like what I did on this trail monitor. Anyways, have a little bend to avoid the oil pan, and then just straight down on this passenger side. So, and I can come straight down and then just find a piece of tube with a little bit of bend in it to do that one, and yeah, should be golden. Alright, so Thomas kind of pointed something out to me on this skid. It kind of looks goofy having just that 2 inches or whatever of overhang right here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna cut this off, trim up that end just a little bit, and suck this so this point will be right here, so this will all tie in and look like it's one piece to a point. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these 2 tacks cut. I'm gonna leave this up in place, get these 2 tacks cut, and see if I can break these tacks. It's gonna be a pain in the butt, but I think we can do it, and it'll be worth it. Okay guys, so as you guys seen, we got the motor all lifted up and suspended in the air and all that fun stuff. So now I can go in and I'm gonna hit it all the welds with the wire wheel, and the welder's being used right now, so I'm gonna do that first, and then once I get that done, hopefully the welder's available and I'll get the back side of these, just because obviously the motor was in the way, so couldn't get to it. So yeah. Alright guys, so we got the motor and tranny fully mounted, and skid plate made. So next up on the list is going to be getting axles mounted and shocks, and get the suspension fully done up. So thank you for watching this video. Please like, subscribe. Doesn't cost anything. Super easy to do. Just a click of the button. Anyways, stay tuned for the next one.
Thanks for watching always, you guys, and stay fabbing. Check out the next video here, and make sure you subscribe. And if you guys want gear, check out the website.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think